Welcome to the MindShift Movement Podcast, hosted by Alan Johnson. On this podcast, Alan will be sharing with you empowering, effective, and actionable knowledge within the fitness and mindset space to help you, the listener, become the very best version of you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now, get ready to dive into today's episode.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. I'm coming to you live from the Love Shack, aka my bedroom. This is where I record all of my podcasts right now. And do you know what? It's all part of the growth. I see myself in the future owning my own home with my family, having an office where I can actually have a professional setup for my podcast. But for now, I just make do. So on today's episode, I want to speak to you about bottling up your stress. So I've just started recently working with a brand new client this week, and something that I have in place is like a lifestyle questionnaire. And this is pretty new. I'd say I brought it in around 4 months ago now, and purely the reason because I was having people start with me that just aren't serious. They're not ready for change. So within this questionnaire, there's lots of key questions. There's one around their commitment level to themselves and to me as their coach, in how serious they are in actually reaching their goals. And anything below, a 6 or 7, then they're very likely not the client for me. And then if they are a 7 or 8, then obviously I want to have that conversation with them to see what we can do to get them to a 10. But on one of the questions on the questionnaire was just around stress, and this new client basically said that they don't manage stress very well and they tend to bottle it up inside of them. And many people do this. I used to be, the culprit of doing this, and little things would keep building up, and then before you know it, it could be the littlest thing that happens, and then you just go and blow your lid, lose control, and just become very, very angry. So what is a great thing to do to overcome this is, first of all, just noticing how you feel when you start to become stressed. What symptoms do you have? Do you start feeling a bit overwhelmed? Do you have like an increased heart rate? Do you start getting a little bit snappy with friends or family? What feelings are you currently getting once you start to become stressed? Because once you start having that better level of awareness, then you can start helping to overcome it. So take a moment out of your day to discover what the root cause is as well. So maybe thinking about what you've been doing that day, who have you been spending time with, and everything else that you've been doing, and then actually discover why you're feeling that certain way. Something that really, really helps if you ever do feel stressed or become overwhelmed is clearing your mind on paper. And it's such a simple but effective practice to do. Just emptying your mind, everything that you've got going on, whatever you've been thinking about, anything that you're worrying about, and ultimately just writing down all of the problems that are currently going on. And then what you can do with that is, now you've got a clear head, you can then start to look at your problems and start to come up with some solutions to help overcome them, and then create some clear plans for you to be able to move forwards. So what's the stress version of you limiting you with your progress? How's the stress version of you holding you back from your goals and your vision? And also as well, how is your stress right now affecting your loved ones around you? Friends, family, maybe your work or home life. Because when we do become stressed, and it can start affecting those around us in a bit of a negative way. You might start snapping at your loved ones. Your kids might do something, and then you just lose control of them. When ultimately, it's not actually what they've done. It's just how you feel internally and the current state that you're in, that you're actually retaliating and being negative towards other people, just down to the way you actually feel within yourself. It's not about what they're doing, it's how you're responding to what's going on around you. And another great tip for you guys is to have like a get out of psychology jail free list. Okay, so what I mean by this is things that make you feel good, things that can break out of a negative state to help you get back on with your life and de-stress. So some examples might be yoga. That could be something for you where you're feeling a little bit run down, you're feeling a little bit stressed. Okay, why don't I take a little bit of time out of work and just do some yoga, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever it takes, just to help you break that state. Maybe going for a long walk, maybe going to watch a movie, meeting a friend, maybe a spa day with some family, massage, even something like bird watching could help you refocus again, take a step back, and just ultimately make you start feeling really good again. So whatever it takes to basically break your state, having a list there to be able to take action at any time to help you get back on track, refocus, re-energize, and get back onto whatever you need to be doing. So what we can also do sometimes is when we have some problems going on in our life, sometimes we can actually make them worse than what they actually are. Okay, so I'll give you an example for myself with the property side of things. Okay, so I went self-employed just over 2 years ago now, and I shared on the episode about myself, about my story, that I literally started my business from scratch. So I had 0 clients, and I knew at the time that me doing that, if I stayed in a recruitment job, I would have been able to buy a property a lot quicker. Okay, but I knew that coming away from that job and starting a business from scratch, it was going to take me a bit longer to buy our first property. And it used to, like, the situation used to overwhelm me, and it wasn't serving me the way I was feeling. But ultimately what I was doing was making the situation worse. It's not that bad that I can't buy right now. It's no issue. So I was basically self-sabotaging myself, making the situation a lot worse than what it actually is, and then just realizing that I need to be grateful for what I've got already. It doesn't matter that we're not on the property ladder yet. I'm still only 29 whilst I'm recording this podcast. So it's just kind of taking a step back sometimes and thinking, actually, am I overreacting to the actual problem? And a lot of the time we can be. So just to summarize, just noticing the feelings of the stress. Okay, so being aware of when you are building up with stress and maybe bottling it up like my client does at the moment. Clear your mind on paper. Write down all of the problems that's going on. And then you want to start creating some solutions to those problems, okay? You don't just want to write down a big list of problems and then not start coming up with solutions. And then with those solutions, you can start forming some plans, so an action plan on how you're going to start making those solutions become reality. Notice how you're limiting your progress towards your goals and vision if you continue to be bottling up your stress. How is that going to affect yourself and other people around you? Create yourself a psychology get out of jail free list. Okay, so this list is whenever you are feeling stressed, overwhelmed, with a low mood maybe, these are tools that can break your state and improve your mood. That's it from today's episode. I hope you take some value, and I will catch up with you guys on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the MindShift Movement Podcast. If you'd like to support the show, please subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Share this episode with someone you feel would benefit from the content. And please leave a 5-star review wherever you download your podcasts. You can also contact Alan at ajfitmindcoaching@gmail.com or on Facebook at AJ Fitness and Mindset Coaching and on Instagram at Alan_Johnson_coaching. We'll catch you on the next episode.